It's been real.
Oh, we starting. I'm getting the stuff ready. Okay.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Pillow Talk. It's a very special episode. It's the end of it.
For now. It's the season finale. How many episodes is it? It's 20 episodes now.
20
That's
on the
crazy.
dot.
Yeah.
Crazy to think.
That means 20 weeks in a row we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Didn't miss 20 weeks.
It's true.
So for the last episode, we're going to make it a banger.
So Nina put out a little feeler for you all. A little bit on Instagram. Just to ask about any advice or relationship tips. Maybe spicy, maybe not. So some of you had the call to action. And you all delivered.
You guys delivered.
So let's hear some of these.
Okay.
Gotta keep it spicy, you know.
It's
you gotta
true.
say it.
Let's start with the lukewarm one. Okay. What do you think about situationships?
Situationships.
Do you know what a situationship is?
Kind of. Isn't it just a fling?
It is.
Or just like you ended up in a relationship out of the circumstance?
Our generation, we would define it as friends with benefits, but the younger generation would define it as a situationship, presumably because there is no friendship aspect to it. There's no underlying relationship.
So what
It's
did you say
purely
that we
physical.
called it?
Friends with benefits.
But you friends with benefits.
But there's some relationship there besides the
Oh.
physical one.
So they're just...
It's like physical, but like you're too scared to be romantically intimate.
That's the
with
most
each other.
Gen Z shit I ever heard. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my goodness. Anyways.
Y'all too scared to catch feelings now?
That's what it is. That's what
it is.
That's what it is. It's how I understand it. You're not afraid to be physical with this person, but you're afraid to be emotional with this person.
Y'all need some help.
I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, no matter how I spin it,
Doesn't make sense.
I would rather have somebody look at me in the face and tell me they don't like me than get naked in front of this person.
Yeah. If I can't hold a real conversation with you, I'm not gonna be butt ass naked in the same room.
Let me define situation.
Yeah, let's-
before we.
But yeah, why don't we go to Urban Dictionary for that?
Oh, okay. So
Watch it be completely different from what we thought.
let's look at Reddit. This is the first thing that comes up.
Fine.
What is a situationship? The top comment says, it's the sweetest, warmest, most inviting trap you'll ever get caught in. It'll
Okay.
be the best thing ever until it's not, and then it's too late and you're already caught.
We're not going into Reddit for this because everybody's got some freaking pros that they have to share
Yeah.
with this.
Okay,
But here's a 10-page haiku of what a situationship is.
situationship Urban Dictionary. Yeah.
Yes. See, only the real ones know this.
Situationship. Let's just chill, have sex, and be confused on the fact that we're not together, but have official emotions for each other.
Bro, that's a friends with What the? Okay, we're not going in this circle of it's a little bit different from friends with benefits.
Let's do situationship versus friends with benefits, because that also comes up in the search.
Sure. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just a generational label.
I think it is a generational label, but this is what it says. Friends with benefits is you have no strings attached sex with this person.
Okay.
But with
As we all know what it is.
situationship, the boundary between romantic relationship is blurred. Like you may like this person and have sex with this person, but you don't know if you do or not.
If y'all ever have a friends with benefits relationship, there are probably some strings attached one way or another. No matter how you spin it, somebody has feelings.
I guess situationships define the circumstance that you don't know if one or both people have.
Yeah. So situationship is almost as if there is more of a likelihood. Like friends with benefits, you're going in there as if like wink, wink. There's no strings attached, right? Like both of you have this clear understanding that there shouldn't be strings attached. But situationship is like, maybe we'll never know because we don't want to talk about it. Emotions, you know?
It's like, hey, let's get sloppy and just be sloppy.
What do I think of them? Okay, now with that out of the way.
Okay, wow, we're old.
Well, back in our day, they just to
I remember the term friends with benefits was always like a thing.
Yeah.
But the second that somebody had caught feelings, there was no term for that. So like, I guess we're in the age where we label everything now. The situationship is just a label for that, huh?
Yeah. I don't like it. I think if you're in a situationship, it's best to get out of it unless you really do have feelings. Because if you have feelings or some of you catch feelings and then the other person doesn't, it's just gonna be a mess.
Yeah, I think we're in an age where people are afraid of getting emotionally attached to someone. I don't know where it came from. I just get that feeling. I don't know. Do you get that feeling?
Possibly.
I feel like a lot of people are too scared to be vulnerable with each other. And maybe that could come from the culture that we all have the power to cancel someone.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's more being vulnerable means getting bullied.
Oh,
right.
Like you open yourself up to, to that, huh?
And I think in an age where you can be exposed so quickly, like the internet, stuff travels so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying vulnerable like, ooh, I sent the nude. Like, yeah, people are obviously worried about that. But the same consequences, like you sharing your emotion and then like 10 other people know about it.
Yeah.
You know what's wrong with it? Y'all can't keep a secret. That's what's wrong with all y'all.
You know where I think that comes from too?
Everybody got that Reddit keyboard warrior effect. Everybody thinks they're anonymous. That's why.
Yeah, but do you ever scroll through Reels or YouTube shorts especially, and you come across this random video of this little kid doing like the renegade and being like, yeah, fuck B, he broke my heart, and then it's like 3 likes, and then the comments are just like, yeah, fuck B. I think people are scared of that happening to them.
No, I could see what you're saying.
But kids do that because videos like that, they see other videos like that go viral. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like, for example, that lady that I told you about where she made a 32-part series about her pathological liar husband. Yeah. If
you all just were real with each other instead of trying to be too comfortable on the internet, we wouldn't have this problem. Like, here's the thing. Some people would rather share their entire nasty TMI sex life on a reel than actually talk to somebody about it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
actually.
1 million people don't need to know about that. But if you're comfortable talking to your phone about it, you should be just as comfortable talking to a person about it. Just because your phone doesn't reflect the thousands of people that you are actually speaking to does not make it any better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to go on a side tangent, but I realized there was a generational difference. So for us, we're kind of in between millennial and Gen Z. End tail of millennial, head of Gen Z. And I realized there was a generational difference when we had a fight one time and we were living together during COVID times. And I felt more comfortable talking about my feelings to you through text, sent it to you, and we lived in the same place. And
interesting.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I just felt like I could articulate what I wanted to say, but I didn't have the courage to actually say it. And that ate at me for a long time because I was like, he is supposed to be my partner and I'm supposed to feel comfortable saying what I want to say to him. But why do I feel more comfortable going this avenue?
I'm different. I'm the opposite of that. Like boomer. I'd rather say my stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Boomers don't even talk about their feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they just grunt.
They just, back in my day.
So I feel that is the case with most Gen Z people today. They feel more comfortable having another added layer between them and somebody else. You're right.
If you think about some of the kids, some of your cousins, some of your younger friends and family
that we know,
they will literally text each other in the same room.
Yeah.
Is that not sad?
They'll be in their own group chat and they'll chat each other.
And then they'll all like giggle.
And they come to hang out.
Yeah. What a waste of life.
Not life. It's a waste of time.
Bro, that's a waste of life. Imagine,
I guess so.
Imagine driving 15 minutes to hang out with family or friends or like your cousin just to sit in a room that you could have done at home.
Right.
Like imagine that.
Yeah. Now I'm getting to an age where I don't even have time to reply, or I just look at the text, acknowledge it, and then forget to reply.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
Yeah.
A lot lately.
Okay, but steering back to the topic, what do you think of situationships?
I think they're silly. Go back to friends with benefits. Be the friend. No, I say here's my best thing.
Just get back to fucking.
You're right. Be friends first. Worry about the rest later. Because if you're not even friends and you're not even comfortable talking about your emotions, why do it?
You're right. I think this comes from the people that, and I'm people, so I speak on people's behalf. I think this comes from the attachment of, oh, now I have shown you my most vulnerable physical self. We have to get married. We have to be together forever.
That is not what a situationship
No, but
is.
That's why I think the people that end up falling in love in situationships, they have that type of attachment style.
Yeah. But see, the alternative of that is one of you starts to not have feelings and then the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
But I guess the benefit of that is if you were never friends anyway, you just ghost each other, right?
Yeah.
But that's even worse. That's why ghosting is so terrible nowadays.
Yeah, ghosting is pretty unacceptable now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. That was spoken to you.
Yes.
From the People's Republic of Nina.
Yes. So my thoughts on situationships, as soon as you catch feelings, it's like the friend zone. The friend zone only exists if you let it exist. The situationship only exists if you let it exist.
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell them, hey, I caught feelings. If they say, oh, shit, I don't have feelings, go find somebody else to fuck.
Yeah.
If you found this person, you'll find another person.
Or, yeah, just be, like I said, just be friends first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to string each other along.
It's true.
Not a cat and mouse game.
It's true. If you want to pursue the situationship to be a relationship, I agree with what Marcus said.
It's not just about pursuing the relationship. If you want to mess around, you can mess around.
Yeah.
But at least tell each other
like
that's the case.
Yeah, you have feelings.
Right? Or start with, hey, let's be friends.
Oh.
One or the other, right?
Yeah, I think so. You just progress from
nobody
there, right?
goes into, no, I don't want to say nobody because obviously situationships happen, right? But how silly is it that you don't even know this person and the first thing you do is get in bed with them? That makes no sense. Is sexual compatibility a criteria to judge the relationship on?
For me or general people?
Well, you're speaking for you to the masses.
Oh,
you know, the People's Republic of Ninar.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm trying to think of what the people are telling me.
The reason why I'm so torn about this question, and honestly, the reason why I asked it in the first place is because if you ask a lot of older people who have been in 60, 70, 80-year marriages, sometimes the thing that they say is a long-lasting relationship is to have a lot of sex. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
But if you don't have it, or if it's not good, is that a criteria? For me, perhaps it's not the first thing.
I think it does have to do with your relationship. If I were to put it in like percentages, I would say it would be personality, attraction, values, and stuff like that. What does sex have to do in the overall scheme of your relationship? I would say it would be like 30%.
30%?
Yeah.
That's really high.
Because me personally, I think sex is a very emotional and very vulnerable thing. I feel like most women would agree because it's very invasive for us. I think that the act of sex is important because it gives an opportunity for two people to connect. When people think that sex is bad, I think it's because there's a lack of communication over what people like.
Okay.
And I think that's enough to break up a relationship, because if you're not even willing to communicate about something so intimate like that and find a resolution together, what makes you think they're going to be able to find conclusions or work through issues?
Respect.
With something else.
I hear that. Okay. That makes sense.
So that's why it's important to me.
See, I think it's important, but I don't put it quite that high. Nor is it the first thing, because like we just talked about situationships, right? If your first interaction with these people is intercourse and that's what you're basing it off of, like your relationship, man, that is a very one-sided scale.
They're like,
you know
this.
What I'm saying?
They're like, what's your name again?
Please never do that again. Yeah, no, I exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that today I think it's a little overrated. Maybe back in the day it was underrated because people just weren't having it. But nowadays it's everywhere.
You're kidding me? People were like fucking like rabbits back then.
No.
Yeah, if you think about every 70s or 80s movie, fucking all the time.
Euphoria did not exist in the 70s.
Oh no, I'm just saying the concept of having sex often.
I'm not saying the concept of having sex often. I'm saying the act of doing it. So I'm saying the act of doing it in a relationship has significantly increased in today's age. Before it was very, very much a, hey, we get married, then we do the deed, or hey, we are in the middle of a field somewhere, parents aren't here, we're just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like back when the phone and internet weren't a thing.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So today it's like, let's just do it because we can, because we got time on our hands. So then I think that today the first thing that people judge a relationship is usually how good is the D. You know what I'm saying? I think that's overrated.
You remind me of this. I wish I knew the actual scientific, like the name for it, but she's a sex doctor. Like she
Are you talking about the shorts, the reels girl?
Dr. Tara?
Yeah.
Yes, she's the Thai girl.
Oh, yeah.
I love her so much. She is so funny. She's like, play with my boy.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you reminded me of because you're just like, yes, these days we're having sex. I rest my case.
Yeah, it's true. If you're going to do the deed, at least know the person. You should not be in a situation where you are judging the relationship based on solely how good it was.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I was so surprised when you said 30%. I think that that's a little high. I think for today's standard, people think that 30% or even just what they value, how good the intercourse is like, that's it.
I think
that's the only thing that they care about.
For me, the 30% isn't necessarily on how good it is. It's just the fact that we engage together as a couple. But there is like a shared intimacy.
Yeah.
That's important, I feel. So that's why I would give it 30%.
I don't think people think about it that way.
Oh, well, I think about it that way. And the Republic of Nina think about it that way. There is a story time I wanted to tell you. Before I met you, there was this guy that I was talking to. And we were getting along pretty well. And we were coming up on our first date. We've been talking for maybe a month and a half or something like that. And super chill guy. We did not talk about sex at all. There wasn't even a hint of... There was flirting, but there wasn't even a hint at anything being sexual. Maybe a week before our first date, he's like, you know what? I really want to be your boyfriend and I want you to be my girlfriend, but I want you to know that I think we should have sex first. And if it's bad, I think we should just be friends. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying, dude. People actually think like that.
And when I heard that, I was like, boy, what the fuck?
I mean, okay, see, here's the thing. We're not saying that the 1 to 10 scale is good, right? But let's just assume it's a 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
If at most before you've even done anything, you're already a 7 because you're missing that, you know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah. So, for example,
it's a big ding.
If we were together and we just never had sex, I could still be with you. Does that make sense?
Right.
But for some people, you cannot be with anyone at all.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Just ask yourself that question. How important is sex to you? And obviously, yes, it is important to some people. But when you come down to it, you're not going to be able to have sex all the time.
Yeah.
There's going to be times in your life where you go months, maybe like a year or something because of how busy life is. Just ask yourself at the end of the day, do you really love this person and can you be with them?
Yeah. Next question.
The next question is liking or saving Instagram social media posts of the opposite sex considered cheating?
I'm going to let you answer first.
No, but it's sussy.
Oh, interesting.
Because if I see a thirst trap of a guy, I'm not gonna like it or save it. There's no reason for me to save it. It's not like I'm gonna come back and revisit. Liking, I can probably be like, oh, that's fine. Saving is the one that kind of gets me feeling a little weird. It's like, why are you saving that?
For me, I agree. No,
it's not.
It is a little sus. I don't like a lot of things like on social media, but I can't ever say that like you can't appreciate something.
Yeah, like for example, we're really into fitness, and if you like another girl's fitness post, I'm like, oh cool, whatever. It's because you're appreciating that she worked out to get the body that she wants. It's not like you like this because you want to bang her.
If I were to like something, it's probably because of the content.
The saving thing for me, I only save social media posts if they're funny because when I'm sad, I like to go through and make myself laugh again. But when people save them, and the only reason why this question was asked is because there was a photo attached to it of this girl taking a photo of her boyfriend's phone that had social media posts of this specific girl doing thirst traps. Literally body yaddy yaddy.
Is his entire saved collection just of her?
Yes.
See, that's why I don't think it's as weird. Now, here's why. Here's why. Maybe he's just a fan of her, right? Where I think it's even sussier is if he had like 100 different girls. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not right. I know it's sussy as hell, but wouldn't you rather have him fawned over one girl than 100 others?
If it was me. Okay. My boyfriend lets me use his phone. I'm looking through Instagram reels and then I happen to open his saves. It's all of this one girl, different thirst traps. He saved all of these. I would be pissed. I would be like, what the fuck?
I'm presenting you with you another situation. You open that guy's phone and there are 10 or 20 different girls all saved.
Okay.
Like different poses, different photos, different posts, but they're all thirst traps. But they're 20 different girls. Which is worse for you?
The single girl.
Really?
Yes, because the multiple girls just tells me that he's horny. The single girl means that he's obsessing over this girl.
Oh.
If it's one girl, it's like you go out of your way. How many thirst traps are there on Instagram? And you only seek out this one girl, only save this specific girls. Type is different.
Okay, type is different.
Type is like you like a specific body type. You like the hourglass girls. So you save all of the hourglass girl thirst traps. The only difference is that this is the same girl.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Again, my answer doesn't really change. I'm gonna say it's still sus. You like what you like, you know what I'm saying?
It's you like what you like. I don't think it's cheating. I think it's sussy as hell. If it makes you uncomfortable, you should tell him.
Yeah.
And ask him, what do you like about this girl? And the specific girl that had this question said that it really took a toll on her self-esteem and her confidence because she is the complete opposite of how this girl looks.
Okay, well, don't be comparing yourself to like...
Yeah, I mean...
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm like, don't compare, but I can see how it would hurt your self-esteem.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are hundreds of thousands of other influencer or model type people on the internet. You can't be thinking about that about yourself against them.
Yeah.
If he's on the internet, he's going to be exposed to all these, right?
Yeah.
So for me, either find another dude out of the 7 billion people on this earth, or don't really let it bother you until unless he gives you a very good reason, like he is paying for an OnlyFans, he is subscribed to her exclusive content, he is sending her money,
oh my god,
he is sending her pictures of himself, something like that. Unless he's that obsessive about it, I'm gonna say just don't worry about it.
I would say realize that you have the ability to talk to your boyfriend about this.
Yeah.
If you are not satisfied with his answer, leave his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Find you a man that will save all of your posts.
Maybe don't. You never want to know what's behind the phone.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Okay, so a new question.
Okay.
Your boyfriend beats off to another girl.
Uh-huh.
And you're in a relationship and it's one specific girl, for example, on Instagram. Let's say he's saving these photos to beat off to her. Uh-huh. Is that cheating?
I don't know.
The silence is so loud.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Here's why. There are types, like you were saying.
Okay.
But it's not like all types. Like there are probably certain features that just you care more about. So if you find that one person, that's it for you. And so it's just as if you're watching porn, right? Like you probably have the endless amount of stuff that's on the internet, but you're probably only attracted to like specific types of videos, specific people. It's hard for me to say because I don't know. I'm not in this person's mind.
So I will reframe it like this. If I was in a relationship with someone, found out that he saved all of these thirst traps of this girl on his Instagram and was beating to this, I would consider that cheating. Because like you said, once you find that person, that's it for you. You know, like you find someone that you're attracted to. At least for me, since that's so intimate, I feel like you're the only one for me. I would not, you know.
But here's the thing. I take it back to the first question that we had, right? For me, I think sex and masturbation are two different things. If I opened up your phone and you had one dude saved, and like that was your whatever you beat off to, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm not about to tell you what you can't or can't like or fantasize about, okay? Because personally, for me, that's like your private, like, this is what gets you off. Cool. That's the way I'm thinking about it, okay? If there's something that gets them off, that's where I think it's different, because I don't think it's cheating, because it's not as if they are actually engaging in a conversation with them. Like they're not emotionally, that's the thing. They're not emotionally attached with this other person. They're not engaging emotionally with them or sexually.
Okay, so in terms of masturbation, you don't think that's cheating. But what if somebody has no strings attached sex with somebody while they're in a committed
relationship? Of course, of course that's cheating.
So like what is the difference for you then?
I think for me the difference is just like
the intention to act.
Yeah.
I consider it the same thing. It's so weird. Because like I totally understand where you're coming from. Everything you said, it's totally valid, and I logically agree because I follow Dr. Tara and
Because I follow Dr. Tara.
I follow Dr. Tara,
Yeah.
and one question that a couple had asked her in couples therapy was, is it normal for me to fantasize about a different woman while I'm having sex with my wife?
And she said yes.
And yes, because the human brain, like, you can't control
Right.
those thoughts.
I would say men and women watch porn.
Yeah.
Probably pretty close to 50-50. I don't know if that's an actual number, but
Okay.
I'm sure it's somewhat close to 50-50. I don't think that it's right for me to say that you can't watch it if that's just something that you wanted to do.
Oh, I see. I see what you're talking about.
In the whole Instagram case, I feel like if you just treated it as if it was porn, sure. If he was sliding into her DMs, different question, right? That's a completely, like, that is intent that you are acting to go and chase after.
You have reframed my thinking. I can agree to that. But, okay, I can agree to that.
She says, I'm still not on board.
No, I can agree to that. But personal preference, if I found like a thirst trap that you had saved, it would hurt my feelings.
And I could respect that. That is something that I would know ahead of time. If I saved a photo of a different girl, I know that would. You look on Instagram, and if you peek over and my For You page has one thirst trap on it, you'd be like, "Who's that hoe?"
I can literally see you, like your fingers hovering over the save, and then you're just like the echoes in your head. You'd be like, "Who's that bitch?"
Anyway, so no, I don't think it's cheating.
Okay.
It is weird. Actually, can I add one more thing?
Yes, of course.
Was it not enough to follow her?
Maybe he doesn't follow her because he doesn't want his girlfriend to see
Okay,
that he follows.
then that's my question for you.
saving would make sense,
I want your opinion on this. Would you rather me follow a thirst trap account, or would you rather me like and save it? And I'm not saying just like and save it, but not follow them.
You know those comments where somebody says, "I can't be caught liking this."
Yeah.
I was like, then you have to make a gallery.
Yeah.
Would it be worse if you were out in the open following this person or saving and liking?
Yes. Yeah, but not following them.
I think it's worse if you save it and like.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, wouldn't it be better if this? Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Like, was it not enough to have just followed this account? I think it's a little weird.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Good one.
That's funny. Why do you think sex slows down in a relationship over time?
We answered that before, haven't we? Life gets in the way. Not
Yeah.
saying you lose traction, but there's always the thought that, oh, I can do this later because you're with them for so long. It feels like, even if you're not married, right? The commitment is already, it runs deep.
Yeah.
So it's as if, oh, I got another time.
A common concern in committed relationships is that there's not enough sex.
Mm-hmm.
And you can search this everywhere. It's a huge problem. I agree with what you say. Life gets in the way and people just prioritize different things. It only slows down if you let it. You just have to voice out that it's important to you.
Yeah.
And I think that for the health of your relationship, you address that problem.
Okay, how about I reframe your thinking again?
Oh,
What happens when somebody got low T? What happens when the woman doesn't want it?
see, that's
right.
so that's another reason.
Right? Yeah.
There's a sexual incompatibility.
That's not incompatibility.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's your biological incapability.
Oh, okay.
Two people could absolutely be compatible, but like
Okay.
physically, if the man's not producing enough testosterone and the woman's not producing enough estrogen, and they just don't have that want.
I
that
thought
drive.
you were phrasing it as like libido.
What's that?
Libido is like the desire to have sex. So the
I
desire
think libido
to have,
is driven by your hormones still, but like
it can be or it cannot be. So if it's
what happens when either or both people have such low sex drive because of factors like that?
okay, things like that. I think me personally, since it's really important to me, I would need to talk it out and see what we can do about that.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I love you, but I'm not trying to be on TRT for that shit.
You're gonna be on TRT. You're gonna be on TRX. You're gonna do. We're gonna be bone until we're 90.
10 freaking days into the treatment. Everybody at the gym's gonna be like, "Wow, dude, you've really gained some significant size." I'll be like, "Yup, I'm still a natural." He's
like, "Yo, dude, you are so bricked up right now."
Hold on.
You're crazy. Yeah, it's just one of those things you're gonna have to talk through. If you can't come to a conclusion, it can be a relationship deal breaker.
Yeah.
Because it's just everybody has needs, different needs from their partner in a relationship, and if you guys just can't see eye to eye, then it's just that, you know.
Yeah.
Dr. Tara says try a monogamish relationship. Do you know what
that is? You mean
a
polygamous?
No. She calls it monogamish, or
what the fuck does that mean?
Where so her and her husband are in a relationship like that. She calls it monogamish, as in they are exclusive to each other, but when they want to go explore, they have the ability to explore.
That's a polyamorous relationship.
Oh.
I get. Hold on. It's not polyamorous, because polyamorous means that you catch feelings with other people. It's an open relationship is what it. I think that's fine.
No, like having that option.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like whatever, right? Like whatever works. Because I bet you that there probably comes a time when you're like, oh, you know, I'm kind of not saying bored, but like this feels as if it's too routine. Then you break out of that routine, then you come back, then you and your wife, your significant other are like, yeah, let's fucking go. You know, like.
I understand that some people might feel that way, but if you ever told me that, it will hurt my feelings a lot.
A lot of things hurt your feelings, ma'am.
If you ever told me that, I would probably be so mad, because I think I try really hard to make things different. But if you told me that, I think it would hurt me so much. The last question. What is your advice for a newlywed couple?
I'm going to say this. Enjoy your honeymoon phase, but don't expect it to last.
Wow, that is so... Yeah, your marriage is fucking doomed.
I think people expect the honeymoon phase to be a really grandiose thing. And of course, whenever you get either newlywed or like big things happen in your lifetime, you tend to cling on to those emotions. Yeah. But when they slowly fade, and then when you hop into this routine, that's when a lot of people get either sick of each other, or they start to realize maybe this person wasn't for me.
You're right.
And then that's when all these like, oh, I hate the way you breathe. And
you're right, because when I think about it, I don't know how we surpassed that. I think our honeymoon phase was right when we started dating, and then we kind of went through this phase where like, oh, we're learning how to live together, grow together, and then when we actually got married and had a honeymoon, it just felt like
it was life.
It was life. We had already figured everything out.
Actually, here's the most pinnacle piece of advice that I could give. Is that you must live life with this person. You've already had experienced life with your partner before you get married, because I think that the honeymoon phase for a lot of couples shouldn't happen after their marriage. You can go on a honeymoon. Yeah. That's what they call it, right? Yeah. But if you're newlywed and you have all of these pent up emotions all of a sudden, I think that's a red flag. You could be happy for the situation, but should you feel like you're a new freaking person? No. Yeah. Should you feel like you're in a new freaking relationship? I would hope not.
Should you feel like on your wedding day, you're just upgraded?
Yeah.
Like, yep. I'm Mrs. Leong now. I also, this is a hot take too, I don't understand why people give other people in long-term relationships so much shit for not getting married after 2 to 3 years of dating.
I have no problem with it. Yep.
I have no problem with it. And I even told myself when I started dating that I wanted to be in a long-term relationship, like 10 years. I would be okay with dating someone for 10 years before getting married. And
there are different factors that I could consider though.
Yeah. Like, definitely.
If you're already 50 and, you know, just trying to get married, I don't know.
I mean, there's different factors for everyone, but the intent with that is that a long-term relationship will establish, you know, I've lived with this person. I'm sure we've fucked a few times in between and it was okay. We lived life together. We overcame at least a few struggles, and after all that time, we're still dedicated to be together. I think that says more about having that instead of just having the ring after 2 years.
Right. Something else that I wanted to add too on top of that was, and I'm not saying that you got to go out and cause trouble, but
oh, yes, you do.
You should probably experience a fight as a newlywed for sure.
What do you mean? Like an argument with each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a tussle. Like
dun, 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 dun.
I was like,
his name was John Cena.
I was like, I don't think we've ever experienced a tussle.
I'm saying you should get into an argument, a verbal confrontation, a verbal disagreement at some point about something, just to see how it plays out.
I think so too.
Like I said, don't be the one that just causes problems.
Yeah, don't.
You should at least experience it as a newlywed.
You should always experience everything that you can in your relationship before you get married.
Yeah. Okay. But the question is, what is an advice that we have for host to marriage?
So newlywed.
Yeah, we can't say a bunch of stuff like, oh, you should have done this before. But here's another one. As soon as you get married, if you haven't figured it out, figure out your fucking finances. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's a tough decision. I don't care if one of you all has been hiding or laundering money in some foreign ass bank.
Yeah.
You better figure that out before it catches up to you.
Yeah.
Because when it catches up to you, that will end your marriage.
I think
it just happens.
I think that conversation should have happened before marriage.
No, I totally get it. But if it hasn't happened yet, as a newlywed couple, you probably should. You should have already had that conversation because you had to plan the wedding. And the wedding costs money.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate state is that a lot of people get married without having the expenses to do it. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of live with the consequences after. But if there's a better time to do it, as soon as you're married, talk about money.
I think for us, we were pretty forthcoming with each other about finances. I remember telling you that I was a little too worried to get married right away because I wanted to figure out my student loan issues. I did not want to come into a marriage already being in debt and worrying about you taking on that debt because that's not fair to you.
Yeah.
But there are some people that just don't give a fuck. They literally get married and then maybe the night of they're like, oh, by the way, I'm like 200K in debt.
Or millions in debt.
Now it's our debt.
Yeah. Well, but some people go for that, that ring.
The MRS degree.
Yeah. Anything else that we could say for a newlywed couple?
If you have not talked about anything that you have talked about while you were dating, you should talk about it as soon as possible as a married couple. Explore every avenue together. For your honeymoon, definitely if you haven't traveled outside somewhere together, maybe like a state away, anywhere away from home really, that you should try that and gauge what it's like for you two to navigate something new.
That's a good one.
I think that's the incentive of honeymoons really, to kind of have a vacation and enjoy each other's company. The aspect of going on vacation or taking yourselves out of a middle ground is so important because you're pretty much relying on each other.
Yeah.
It's just such a good way to gauge.
Yeah, go do an amazing race together.
Jesus Christ. I don't even think we could do an amazing race. I'd be like, baby, you're gonna have to carry me.
I'm gonna be like, the map is upside down. Navigate me.
You'll be like, where are we going? I know some people refuse to have premarital sex and they want to have sex with the person they end up marrying. And let me tell you, it's not going to be great the first time. Because
that is a good piece of advice.
If you two have never explored with your bodies before, what makes you think you can explore somebody else's body?
I don't think premarital sex does not include masturbation.
You think
sex
so?
And masturbation is not the same thing. Yes. I feel like a lot of religious people who don't believe in premarital sex still explore themselves.
You think so?
Yes. People in private do whatever people in private want to do.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that's a fact of life. Okay,
so that is an absolute fact of life.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Let's say.
But here's the thing. If you don't know where to put the hot dog and the bagel, that's a problem. Because that's genuinely something that they've probably never done. You might touch yourself, but you don't have to touch the other person.
So let's say you have never had premarital sex and you have explored with yourself. Great, you did like half the work. Okay, it's not gonna be great the first time because you're figuring things out.
My advice: if you've never had premarital sex, you're newlywed and you're gonna go do it. First of all, whatever you're watching on the internet, don't do that. Number two, no, actually, that's a very common thing. Okay. Have you heard about that?
No.
Yeah, people who either as teenagers or newlywed couples who, when the guy does what they think they are supposed to do off of the videos, they're like, "Boy, did that hurt?" Actually, a lot of people have said that their experiences were negative, very poor,
I can't
because of what they did. Yeah,
I can believe that.
Yeah,
they're like, "Why are you putting it in my ear?"
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Next thing is, you should be vocal about what you like and don't like. Even if you think it's going to kill the mood, you know what's worse than killing the mood because you said something? Having to endure the pain.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's supposed to go up my nose, man.
So, okay, this is why I think this is part of the 30% because it's so intimate to be vocalizing these things, we're going back to square one, okay? Vocalizing these things is so important because that's part of bidding for your partner's attention.
Yes, but when I'm thinking about like a marriage as a whole, the lifetime of a marriage, I'm not expecting you to be 20 years married and not know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you already did it a lot of times, and what a factor of that plays a part of your entire marriage. You know what each other likes. You know what I'm saying? Like you figured it out. I mean, obviously for first time couples, I'm gonna give them the leeway of just saying, okay, you don't know.
So you get a pass.
You don't know what each other wants.
Yeah. Okay. But do you see how much growth that is?
Oh yeah, I believe
that.
I hear
That's
you.
just so important.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's where a lot of couples flop because somebody's too afraid to say what they like and they don't like. You like anal, right? And she's like, yeah, I love it.
Oh, no, dude. And the last one, just have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Honestly, I think a lot of people too, I think they think that a marriage, and yes, hold on. I was about to make it be like, oh yeah, everybody thinks like a marriage is way too serious. No, I don't play around with it. Okay.
He's like, yeah, it's so funny.
The last tip that I got is that you should just enjoy the process of a marriage. Because there are growing pains with a marriage, just like anything else. If you can't find the lighthearted fun in a relationship, if you can't enjoy the fruits of life that you've obviously worked so hard to get to this point, then you probably don't deserve to be married.
Yeah. I will also say that it is just such a fun experience being married to someone that you want to be with forever. And the fact that you've already gotten to that point and found someone that you want to be with forever, just enjoy it. Just don't rush any aspect of it. Don't feel like you need to be in a rush to have kids. That's a huge thing because people are always pressuring other people, which why the fuck are you doing that? Don't feel like you need to have kids right away because if you have waited so long to maybe save yourself to enjoy experiences with your partner, don't cut it short.
Yeah.
Just take your time, and when you're ready, you guys will communicate that it's ready, and then you'll take the next step of life together.
That's not to say don't have kids.
Yeah.
Just don't rush it.
Yeah.
Because the time, actually, I think that kids also put a very significant financial and emotional pressure on you that could actually break your relationship. And that's unfortunate because either it comes at the expense of your relationship or like your wedding or your marriage, or it comes at the expense of your kids.
Your kids' mental health.
Yeah. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Take care. Brush your hair. We're going to do a level 1 question from We're Not Really Strangers, the couple edition. Level 1. What was the hardest thing for you to understand about me early on?
Oh, that was hard to understand about you early on.
She said everything. You are an enigma. If you don't know the reference, go watch our other episodes.
We will never let him live it down.
Yeah, man, he's an enigma. I'm never going to let him live that down because I can't understand it. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh. He's like, tell me I'm mysterious without telling me I'm mysterious. Okay. One thing that I didn't understand about you at first was that you just didn't like people being in the kitchen. That was so confusing to me because I couldn't tell if, was it a pet peeve? Do you have control issues?
Oh, that is interesting.
When, as a kid growing up, the kitchen was like the place.
Yeah.
For all family to be, and even if it was crowded, it was adding to the environment, like the atmosphere. Everybody was just happy to be
I grew
there.
up with a bunch of Gordon Ramsays, and I idolized Gordon Ramsay. I feel like I very much have that, like, we've got to get things running.
Yeah.
And everything has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Especially in the kitchen. I don't know. For some reason.
You have a system.
Yeah, I have a system.
But
and when anybody gets in the system, the kitchen's too hot. Get out.
That's really funny because growing up, we, like my mom is a refugee. In the village, cooking was like a way for everybody to be together.
Oh, yeah.
Have like participate in that thing as a family, and then we get to have dinner together. So it was more like a fun, we're having fun together. We're doing this together, and they appreciate my existence. So coming in assuming that was the same thing, and it was not.
It was not.
It was not. No, but you enjoy my existence in the kitchen, right?
Oh, yeah. Now that we figured out a system together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically it involves a lot of me going.
You gotta flow around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, what's your question?
Oh, this is cute.
Okay.
How would you describe our first date in one word? Feel free to use
eventful.
more words.
I would call it eventful. Very eventful.
He said earth-shattering.
We explored a lot of things, okay, on the first date, and actually we did a lot, okay.
Yeah.
Not just not just what you're thinking, but I think that when we actually went out to eat, we learned a lot about each other. So I think it was a very eventful. Like it was like I would say almost a perfect first date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It was the first time that I went on a date and I just felt so vulnerable. I don't know. I guess it's because
Doesn't that have a negative connotation?
no, it's a very that means I trust you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was scary for me, but I felt good about it.
That's good. That's all that we had for this special season finale of Pillow Talk. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope that you enjoyed this one, and we can't wait to see you on the next season. We'll see you all later.
See ya.